Hey guys, what's up? It's Adam here, aka Cena Guy. Welcome to the Movie Vault. Okay, I want to talk about a movie that's action-packed. An action-packed movie made spot on. An action movie that defines everything about action and the way it should be made. It's this movie right here that stars Jean-Claude Van Damme. Double Impact. If you remember when I made my Christmas video, I said I wanted to make a start on the Jean-Claude Van Damme movies. Because when I was a kid, I remember watching this movie for the very first time. I mean, this movie came out in the year of 1991. But I remember watching certain scenes of this movie, just certain scenes, and I was blown away by the action, you know. And I said to myself, I've got to try out Jean-Claude Van Damme's movies. Got to try him out because I thought he was a cool, kick-ass actor who was doing all these outstanding scenes with martial arts and all that kind of stuff. And the craziest thing was, I never got round to doing it. Growing up, I never got round to sitting down and watching Jean-Claude Van Damme's movies. And many of you are saying, Adam, you're meant to be this movie buff, you know, where the fuck have you been? You're missing out on classics. And you're right, I've missed out on loads of classics. There's loads of movies out there with Jean-Claude Van Damme that I have not seen yet. But if you checked out my Christmas video, I finally made a start to it. I ordered this movie, I ordered Bloodsport, Lionheart, Kickboxer. You know, there's loads of movies that I have ordered with Jean-Claude Van Damme. I'm finally getting around to watching one of the films. But the one I watched last night was this one, Double Impact. And the reason why I watched this one first is because it was the first one I checked out when I was a kid, watching all those scenes that I enjoyed watching. And it's a fantastic movie, Double Impact. It has everything in an action movie that you expect to find. Forget about all your fucking remakes. Forget about your Terminator Genesis and all that other kind of shit. This defines of what an action movie should be. Jean-Claude Van Damme is playing two characters in this movie as well. The action movie about these two twins that got separated. You know, Alex and Chad. And Jean-Claude Van Damme plays both characters as well. And boy, does he do a good job. I mean, you got like the Chad twin, who's like more of like, who's living in Los Angeles. He's more of like a martial arts type of guy. Where you got Alex, the cigar smoking, slick back hair, kick-ass type of twin, you know, who uses headbutts and machine guns and other kinds of shit. So, two twins that are played by Jean-Claude Van Damme. Yeah, they're similar in types of way with looks and things like that, but they've got two different separate personalities, despite them both being action-packed in their own way. I mean, this is what the movie's about. The film opens up with this little family, okay, and they've invested into this tunnel, okay, and their uncle, who's watching over them and also holding responsibilities of the two twins. I'll tell you his name right now. Frank Harvey, who's played by Jeffrey Lewis, so he was no longer with us now. I hope he rests in peace. But anyway, Frank Harvey is like the uncle. You know, he's trying to ensure their safety. Anyway, he finds out that the family's being followed back to their house, and they get brutally murdered. You know, the father of the twins does his best to try and protect his life, along with the twins' life, but he ends up getting shot. Even the mother gets brutally murdered. She gets shot. She gets shot with a shotgun by one of the leading bodyguards, who I tell you who is now, Bolo Young, who plays Moon, awesome villain. You know, she's there, she's bleeding, she's dying, and she's saying, "What's going to happen to my babies?" And he says, "You'll never know." And the cold-hearted motherfucker just blows her brains out with a shotgun. So, again, you don't see the actual scene where he shoots her, but you do see the after effects and like the aftermath of the bodies, and they're all bloody and they're all fucked up. And anyway, the uncle gets to the scene. He shoots some of the guards. You know, he takes one baby away while the babysitter, the nanny, takes the other twin away. She takes him to like this, I think it's some sort of orphanage where these nuns are, and she drops him off there. While the uncle takes the other twin, Chad, to, I believe, France first and then to Los Angeles. So he took one twin and the other twin got took away to go to Hong Kong, basically. The film skips to 25 years later. You hear that the uncle and the Chad twin, are working in this like this mixed martial arts place where they teach karate. He's got a good job. There's a scene where he's like trying to explain it, trying to help this woman with her stretches, and he's like having the time of his life. I don't think anyone would be with a woman that was just as fine figure as her. She was. He tried to make it that Chad had the best job in the world. He agrees sports, and again, right off the bat, he pulls off a great action scene where the newcomer of the karate class does a karate kick. Shad counters and fucking kicks him. So we see a great action scene right off the bat. So Shad is like, although he's more like a Los Angeles type of personality, he's like got this martial arts background behind him. And anyway, the uncle informs him that they're going to Hong Kong for him to meet his twin brother. Straight away when they get there, Chad is like getting mistaken for his brother straight away because they look like each other, his brother Alex. I like that scene in the bar where that woman's trying to get into his pants and, he's like wearing black silk underwear and straight away he gets headbutted by his brother. And they all meet up. The uncle tries to explain that they were twins. He tells a story about how they were separated, when there was twin babies. And, I like the way Jean-Claude Van Damme played the Alex character in this, with the cigar and the slick black hair. I like the way how these two brothers bond with each other, even though it's the same actor playing with them. But like bonding like the way brothers should be bonding, but at the same time they've got their issues with each other. They're both kick-ass characters, who like to cause mayhem and do lots of martial arts fighting, but they've got their own style. I even love the scene on the boat, where they're on the boat and they're delivering those cars, having a dirty deal with those bad guys, and we see scenes on the boat where Alex like kicks them, does lots of martial arts punches and all these different moves, his headlocks and all this kind of shit. And what I was so impressed about with this movie, Double Impact, is that, well, the impact, as it says by the title, the way the impact was done with all the martial arts fightings in this movie, it was really incredible. I mean, I even love the scenes where Alex is like doing all those like his gambowlings and shooting and hanging upside down and shooting with the guns and all that kind of shit. I even love that little fight scene that Chad character had with that bodyguard. I can't keep forgetting his name. Bolo Young, who played Moon. I even love that little scene because I love the way he stands out. With that scar across his face and I'm like, what an evil fucking villain. And this was the same guy that blew their mother's head off with the shotgun. You know what I mean? How like some of them stand out, with the villains, when they've got something about them, whether it's like a missing eye or a scar across the face. Well, this Moon guy, he really stood out with that scar, trying to make him look like an evil fucking villain, At the time he gets mistaken, the Chad guy gets mistaken for Alex and he gets beaten up and left in one of those containers. I mean, basically this whole movie, it's just about these two twins who got separated, then they got back together again, and they just caused mayhem on these people that were responsible for their parents' death, basically. And you got the uncle along the way helping them and all that kind of shit. I mean, it is a kick-ass movie, Double Impact. I'm really glad I picked it up. I'd have to say my favourite scene in this movie would have to be the second round between Chad and Moon, in that fighting scene on the ship. I mean, the scene where they're fighting with all them barrels and doing back and forth martial arts on each other, and there's a scene where he gets electrocuted and then the place fucking blows up. And again, Alex and Chad go their separate ways, to go off against different bad guys towards the end of the movie, and and it's what I was impressed is that both characters that Jean-Claude Van Damme played, they both had their own reasons to get revenge, and it seemed like they both had a lot to do. It wasn't like as if the Alex character had more to do than the Chad character, or the Chad character had more to do than the Alex character. It seems like they was both treated equally. They both had reasons to do all this martial arts, all this fighting, and get involved in this big action-packed adventure. I mean, like I said, this movie came out here in 1991, and I thought it was spot on. All the scenes, that contained all the fighting, all the blowing up, the shooting scenes. You get scenes with machine guns, you get the martial arts scenes, you know, you get all these different scenes that are just really stood out, and it defined everything about an action-packed movie made in the year 1991. I've said it before and I said it again, they do not make movies like this anymore. Today it's like all remakes and all that kind of bullshit. But I thought I'm really glad that I checked out these Jean-Claude Van Damme movies. I don't know which one I'm going to check out next, probably Lionheart or Bloodsport, because like I say, I own them on Blu-ray as well. But overall, a fantastic movie. It's definitely one of those movies that I'd watch again on a rainy day. I was getting all the flashbacks of my childhood while watching this movie, saying, I remember that scene, I remember that scene. I have to say the scenes I remember the most was definitely the scenes that contain Moon, that bodyguard. He'd have to be one of my favourite characters in this movie. Don't know, I thought he was like a cool villain that was cold-blooded, an evil bastard, who just blew the head off the woman and all that shit. I'm glad the arsehole got what was coming to him on the boat scene at the end where he gets electrocuted and all that shit, so... yeah, overall, fantastic movie. Jean-Claude Van Damme was spot on with both characters. He was good at portraying both of them differently. Although they were both kick-ass characters in their own way, they both had their own different styles. And, Alex would be more of the serious one with the cigar and doing all these one-liners, while Chad would be like the Los Angeles style type of character, with martial arts and karate and all that kind of shit. But both good with guns and different things. But I'm glad how they both worked together. Van Damme did a great job of playing two separate characters, but then he had to try and combine them together to work as a team. Great job by Jean-Claude Van Damme. Again, I thought every actor in this movie did a great job acting-wise. They all played their parts well, and you could tell that everyone had fun in this movie as well. You could tell they was like having a blast while they was making this movie and like working together to pull off all these awesome scenes. And again, I don't think there was not one place in this movie where I was disappointed or thinking they're overdoing it a bit there, or I was like, they could have improved that scene. I do not recall that happening in any of these movies. Love the one-liners by Alex, it'd still be a faggot. Drunk or sober, it'd still be a faggot. I would never wear black silk underwear. And, great one-liners. Again, spot on with the action scenes. There was not much more to say. I mean, like I say, he does this at the end, and the credits roll after their big one-action fighting adventure. And I'm not going to call this my favourite just yet, because I still have other ones to check out. A lot of people said there are better Van Damme movies than this, despite this one being a classic. A lot of people say Bloodsport is better. Some people say Lionheart's better. Well, all in good time, I'm going to check those ones out and do reviews on those also. But I just wanted to check this one out first because it was the first one I saw. And I just wanted to, relive them moments of when I was a kid. When I was watching all those action scenes. And I just wanted to watch the full movie all the way through. So, got it on Blu-ray as well. So, it was great seeing this whole movie on Blu-ray for a 1991 action movie. Thanks for watching this, everybody. Again, if you have any questions or anything you want to ask, please email me. And we'll see where we go from here. But that's my review on Double Impact with Jean-Claude Van Damme. My first Jean-Claude Van Damme movie review, because I did a rant before on my first Jean-Claude Van Damme movie on fucking Street Fighter, which was a piece of shit. Hated that fucking movie. But this is my first official review on a movie I liked with Jean-Claude Van Damme, and I'd say I made a great choice of starting it all off with Double Impact. Thanks for watching this, everybody. Again, just send me your questions or send me comments below. I look forward to hearing from you. So, peace out and have a good day. Peace.